We will talk about hidden champion success lessons of the most secretive global market leaders. In 1987, Ted Levitt asked me a simple question. Why is Germany so successful in exports? Who was Ted Levitt? At that time, he was the marketing guru of the Harvard Business School. He made the term globalization popular. So, today we are in 2024 and not much has changed. If we look at exports in absolute terms, China has emerged. China is now the clear number one. Then we see the US number two and Germany close behind. So we are only about 1/5 of the American economy. All the other countries much smaller. This comes even more clearly out if we look at per capita exports. And here you see Germany is an extreme outlier, double what the other European countries have in spite of their geostrategic similar location. So the question is, why is that? The question from Ted Levitt. And of course, the first thought is, this must be due to the large German corporations, which everybody knows, BMW, Mercedes, Siemens, etc. And the more I thought, at that time I was a professor, I had some doctoral thesis on this topic, I found out it's not the large corporations. So who determines export performance of a country? Large corporations or mid-sized corporations? Any thoughts on this? Say large corporations, because for most countries, it's actually large corporations. Here you see on the horizontal axis the Fortune Global 500 companies and the exports vertically. And you see for most countries, USA, Japan, France, Korea, it's almost a linear correlation between the number of large corporations and the export performance. And there are two outliers, China and Germany. China being the number one in absolute terms, Germany in per capita terms. So what is different? The difference lies in the role of small and mid-sized companies which are strong in exports. In order to really excel in exports, yes, you need large corporations, but in addition, you need a strong sector of mid-sized and smaller exporters. And these are the hidden champions. What is a hidden champion? Company which is top 3 in the world, has a revenue between 5 million and 5 billion. Now, 5 billion you may think is high. That's not high. The average of the Fortune Global 500 is 84 billion. And the smallest of them still makes 32 billion and not known, hidden in the public. So my first lesson, hidden champions play a key role in global competition. They are an extremely valuable source for excellence in strategy and leadership, but are ignored by management experts and business schools. My son got an MBA at Harvard, the Harvard Business School. I looked at all the cases. 96% of the cases were from Google and big corporations, Tesla, etc. Now let's come to the business level, and here I identified 7 what I call success pillars. The core is the ambition to be the best. How do we come to the best? Only by focus. Only focus leads to world class, but focus made the market small, that's why they globalize. And in order to become a market leader and to stay a market leader, you have to innovate permanently. And then we have 3 new driving forces: digitalization, ecosystems, and sustainability. And I will show you cases for each of these pillars. Let's start with the ambition to be the best. Stihl, the global leader in chainsaws, says, either we are the best or we don't do it. They even make their own batteries. Can you imagine that? Because they say the requirements for batteries for our tools are different from batteries for electric cars or batteries for mobile phones. So we make our own batteries and we are the best at this specific kind of battery. Or Mackevision, global leader in computer-generated imagery, our ambition is to be the absolute number 1 worldwide. And they are in all these games of Thrones, etc. films, their software for computer-generated imagery. Ambition to be the best. That is the entrepreneurial foundation of hidden champions. It comes from within the entrepreneur. So it's your responsibility. Becoming the best is only possible through focus. If you focus your competencies and energies, and here again, 2 examples. Flexi, world market leader in retractable dock leashes, in these flexible dock leashes. Docks seem to be very popular. Half the plane yesterday was full of docks to Sun Valley. Flexi says, we only focus on one thing, but we do it better than anyone else. They make only retractable dock leashes. What is their global market share? 70%. Focus. Or Ullmann, world market leader in pharmaceutical packaging. We do only one thing, but we do it right. Ullmann could also package food, electronic gadget. No, they say, we want to stay #1 in the pharmaceutical industry, therefore we focus on this industry. Focus has, however, one disadvantage. It makes the market small. If you sell dock leashes only in Idaho or in Germany, that's a pretty small market. So how do you make it big? By globalizing, or more generally expressed, by regional expansion instead of diversification into other fields. And here is the story of Karcher, world market leader in high-pressure water cleaners. They started with their globalization in the 70s, and ever since then they have added 1, sometimes 2 or 3 countries to their global network with their own subsidiaries. They also have a huge plant in China, which I visited recently. Now they are in 160 countries. And the CEO, who is 52 years, he said, during my tenure, I want to be in all United Nations countries. So he has to add another 40 or so in the next 10 years. Innovation. Innovation starts with spending money. The hidden champions spend double the industry average on research and development. What is more important, the outcomes. If we look at patent-intensive industries, they have 5 times more patents than the average company. And the core of their innovation is the integration of technology and customer needs. Success in innovation is not only a matter of technical competencies, but of understanding the customer needs and integrating technology and customer needs. And you see here, 65% of the hidden champions say that they are doing this integration very well. Only 19% of the average company says that. They're either more purely consumer-oriented or too technology-oriented. So think, how well do I integrate my competencies, be it technical or be it service competencies, with the customer needs, which requires, of course, understanding the customer needs. And closeness to customer is actually, customer proximity is actually the biggest strength of the hidden champions. 87% say that this is their biggest strength. Lesson 2, ambition to be the best, focus, globalization and innovation are the traditional pillars of success for the hidden champions. Starts with ambition, you focus to become the best, you expand your market regionally instead of diversifying, and you innovate continuously. Now the new driving forces, digitalization, business ecosystems, and sustainability. Again, a couple of examples. In digitalization, I distinguish between consumer mass digitalization, the markets of Facebook and Google, etc., and industrial digitalization. 2 very, very different fields. The hidden champions don't compete in the mass markets. They have no chance there against the big guys, but they focus on business to business. And a few cases, TeamViewer, the global leader in so-called remote screen control, is installed on more than 2.5 billion devices. Does anybody know what LSTM means? Who uses Siri of Apple? Most of you probably. Behind that is the software long short-term memory on more than 3 billion smartphones from a German hidden champion. It's currently replaced by the so-called transformer technology, so that's a market in flux. Celonis, global leader in so-called process mining. We even don't know what process mining is. That's very often the case, that we don't know that these markets exist. Aleph Alpha, artificial intelligence for industrial processes. And a question I often ask, you see the answer, how many suppliers does Apple have in Germany? Most people guess 10 or 20. The true number is 767. Can you imagine that? All unknown hidden champions. And if we look at the area of autonomous driving, Germany is actually leading there. 1/3 of all patents in the last 10 years come from Germany, and the number one is Mercedes ahead of Tesla. Germany is the first country with level 3 certification, and Mercedes just a few months ago got level 3 certification in Nevada and California. Level 3 means you are allowed to take the hands off the steering wheel, plus to do something different, to watch a video. Level 2 is allowed to take the hands off, but you have to be alert all the time. Level 3, you can do something else under special conditions. Business ecosystem, here a case of a small company called MK Technology. They make so-called investment casting systems. These are systems very, very complex, and that's a company with 30 people. They supply the systems on which the combustion chambers of SpaceX are made. And 6 of their systems do the same work for which Elon Musk would need 1,000 large 3D printers. They're also a supplier to PCC, that's a Warren Buffett company, the global leader in turbine plates, to General Electric aircraft, to Pratt & Whitney. How can such a company achieve these standards? Only by combining competencies from companies, in this case from different countries, 2 Chinese, 1 German, 1 from Israel, 1 from France, in this what I call an ecosystem. And that is one of the most important new developments, that markets and products are getting so complex that you need competencies from different players who remain independent. And the most extreme example is the so-called extreme ultraviolet technology, where the Dutch hidden champion ASML is the global monopolist. And there are 2 key players, TRUMPF for laser and ZEISS for the optical system. The TRUMPF laser shoots 50,000 tint drops per second on the ship. And the ZEISS optical system places 56 billion transistors on the surface of your thumbnail. So business ecosystems means that you combine competencies from different companies who remain independent and achieve these extremely high technology standards. Third, new driving force, sustainable. Will it be the new digital? Maybe. And hidden champions are leading. I just show you one example. Most of our shirts are made from cotton fibers. This shirt is made from so-called lyocell, derived from wood by the hidden champion Lansing. And to show you the difference, a cotton shirt needs 2,700 liters of water, a lyocell shirt 180. Land, 6 square meters. For the cotton shirt, 0.6. Cotton plantations consume 25% of the global consumption of pesticides, 0. Price range cost about the same. And we see these developments, these are in the beginning small markets, so ideal for the hidden champions. And the challenge is always technology. Only technology can solve these raw materials, process, efficiency problems. Lesson 3, digitalization, business ecosystems and sustainability are the new driving forces. The hidden champions are in good starting positions. Now let's come to the question, why are these companies so successful? To the inner strengths. First, they look at employees, and these companies have more work than heads. Too little people. And I can only recommend you make sure that you have don't exaggerate, but that you have a little too few people. That's an extreme productivity driver. And if you want to kill your productivity, have too many people. High performance cultures, high qualification, low turnover. Just a few numbers. Vocational training of the workers. Hidden champions invest 50% more than the average company, and the German average is already very high on international standard. And the qualification of the workers is as important as the qualification of the next group, college, university graduates, where the hidden champions have doubled the percentage over the last 10 years. Competition is more and more about qualification. Then loyalty or churn, you see the hidden champions have extremely low turnover rates. Most of the employees stay for their whole life. This is an extremely important indicator. If you hire competent people, top talent, train them, you must keep them. If you lose them, it's a waste. Leaders, the leadership is ambivalent, authoritarian in the principles, but participative, flexible in the details, much less regulated than in large corporations. We call that mission-oriented leadership. The leader gives a mission to the employees and they decide how they carry it out. Leaders come young into power. We have more women in top positions and a very high continuity of the leaders, 21 years on the average of the CEOs for the hidden champions, and in large corporations this average is 6 years. I think that tells you everything about long-term orientation. Lesson 4, my last lesson. The hidden champions have more work than heads and high performance culture. Employee loyalty is high, turnover rates are very low. The hidden champions have strong leaders whose leadership is authoritarian in the principles but flexible in the details. Continuity is very high. Now that was a speech of a former professor, and to what does it lead? You see where the hidden champions are in terms of net profit. Only net profit is a true profit number. So they are also excellent in profitability. And what did I learn from the hidden champions? I was a professor for 16 years, and then I founded my own company, Simon-Kucher. Dr. Kucher was my first doctoral student. And we applied the hidden champions principles one-to-one. Goal, we wanted to be the best in the world in our field. Focus, marketing, sales, pricing, especially pricing in the first years, scope, global presence. So I gave up my professorship, became an entrepreneur, and what is the outcome? We are today seen in many countries as the number one in our field, recognized by independent studies. Here, for instance, by Forbes last year in the US. This is our global network, 47 offices in 29 countries. We have about 7 in the US. This is our growth curve, 2,200 employees, and last year we crossed 578 million, so we are a hidden champion ourselves. I can assure you the strategy does work. I tried it and it worked. Summary, the hidden champions are role models for strategy and leadership. Ambition to be the best is the foundation. Think about that, an element of will. Only focus leads to world class. Growth through regional, international globalization. Avoid diversification. Integrate internal competencies and customer needs in innovation. Digitalization, stay focused, avoid mass markets. Employ business ecosystems. Pay high attention to employee qualification and retention. And apply mission-oriented and long-term oriented leadership. Mission-oriented means you give the task to be carried out to your employees and they have freedom how to do it. I got 20 minutes, my watch shows 000. Now I thank you very much for your patience.